Hello. I figured I would do kind of a rumination video. I usually call this my anxiety video. This is really is going to be strictly for myself, even though I do publish it on my private channel, PR. That's private. I doubt if anyone's going to find it, but if they do, this is me. This isn't me particularly commenting on the particular situation that's inspired it. It's just me reflecting on how my experience with a past incident like this. It is February the 13th, 2025. I watched yesterday. First, it's the Viking, the Diary of a Viking channel, talking about allegations against Daniel Green, and pointed me to the woman who was making them, Naomi King. I watched her gut wrenching video, which came off to me as very authentic, very much detailing. Referred me to the older video of hers, where she had made generalized communication talking about somebody, didn't name anyone in that video. However, once she published that video, which was vague enough that I don't think I had a good enough, I didn't particularly have a good enough handle on it. It sounded like skeezy guy who kind of talks up a woman until she has sex with them and then ghosts her, which is shitty behavior, but isn't sexual assault. But I didn't, probably just through my own lack of listening and focus, didn't, and probably being a dude myself, didn't quite grasp the situation. Well, after she published that video, she got a cease and desist letter from Daniel Green. Daniel Green obviously knew who she was talking about. And she'd been kind of sitting on that for the last year or so. I don't know any of the behind the scenes of what spurred her to make this video at this time. You definitely get the sense of it's something that was just sort of eating and eating and eating away at her, and with this guy continuing to go along, that she finally did make the video. And in that video, she very much goes into explicit and really hard detail, triggering detail for anyone who would go and see that video. This is a victim. This is someone having, as she does at the very end of this video, she has a full-on panic attack, and you can see she's discussing sexual assault, all that stuff there. It's funny, people say SA in their videos. I wonder if that's because YouTube the robots will find this and nuke me because of it. Not nuke me as in like anyone watches these videos, but I've had that before where I've used certain keywords in a video and it's just vanished. But yeah, she goes into the details, and the details are very damning and really shitty. And it's she describes sexual assault. She does. She was not able to give consent. She wasn't giving consent. He comes off as just fucking gross in her telling of it. And yeah. I know Daniel Green. I checked out his videos at one point, just like, I'm kind of looking for somebody who was like, it's going to talk about news of fantasy. It's going to talk about fantasy novels. I kind of was put off of him. Is very much kind of promoter, which, it's nothing wrong with being promoter, but it just kind of put me off. So I didn't continue being subscribed to him. I'm not subscribed to him on any of my things. So I don't have like that much of an emotional connection to him. There's been various videos now been made mostly, I think majority of them in support. There's one that started off with, so-called male feminist and social justice warriors accused of stuff, ha ha ha, kind of like, and it's like, okay, well, I got 5 seconds into that video and went, nope. I will click off of that. There's an ideological bent there I don't need to listen to. But I've read through like all the comments, all the various different reactions to like, I thought BookTube was a safe place. She's lying, basically. I believe, or she's lying, or I believe her, or, well, it hasn't gone through a court case, so we can't condemn him. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. All this stuff, and yes, there's a legal system that, will it sounds like is going to do it. He came out with a very short, very odd video where it sounded like he was basically doing a prep video for his court case, because he says he's going to sue Naomi King over her allegations. Um, and it's like he starts off the video, I am Daniel Green. Like, it's like, it really sounds like he never makes eye contact with the camera. This is a guy who comes across as smarmy but personable on camera in his regular videos, very much reading off of a statement. I did have sexual into I there's some kind of, like, I did have consensual sex with this woman. It's like, it's like, so he's basically admitted to, yes, I was cheating on my girlfriend, my wife, or my fiance of the time, or probably girlfriend of the time. And she's worked her way through that, which was a weird kind of phrasing there. um and but I did not sexually assault her. And so it's going to be like, okay, we can prove that Naomi King can obviously prove that you had sexual, she's got receipts that you guys had sex. But I can make it into a he said, she said about the assault. And knowing a certain kind of guy, even it's like, yeah, sure, she was high and stuff and couldn't give consent, but that wasn't sexual assault. It's like, yes, that was sexual assault. So I'm sure he will have his story. There will be a court case that'll be decided years and years from now. But I think the people who are going to believe him are going to believe him. The people who are not, are going to believe her, are going to believe her. And that will be that in the public realm. Yes, there'll be a court case, and the burden of proof is pretty fucking high. So even if he did, it's the burden of proof is so fucking high, and the system is so fucking screwed up for stuff like that, and basically built for people to get away with sexual assault, that it's probably, I don't take that as a conclusive thing. People saying, oh, well, the courts will decide what the truth is. They don't decide what the truth is. They decide what's legally can be established in a court of law. That is different than the truth. So yeah, there's all that. Um, I guess I am having, for my own, why am I making a video about this? I'm making a video about this because not many years ago, I made a video calling out a booktuber, tiny, insignificant little mosquito in comparison to the heights of Daniel Green, for his inappropriate behavior, that he was skeeving on women who he had pretended to kind of welcome to the internet, but was basically using it as a way of trying picking up women, and kind of like, hey, let's get together, baby, kind of all that stuff, being a gross creep. I don't believe it. There's nothing to say that it was ever physical, real time. It was just like, you're being a creep online, and it's like, stop being a creep online. He just didn't address it. Just ignored, went away. The guy he was working with kind of detached himself from his orbit, and just kept on going. And in that case, the people who were going to believe him kept on believing him. The people who were going to believe the women who had said, like, this stuff is happening, believe that. I found it really soured booktube for me, my experience. It was one of these things of, like, I made a video because I felt like I had to speak out about it. Like, it was like, this is a really shitty situation, and it's like no one's talking about it openly, and I felt like an idiot for being someone who, like, oh, I really like his channel, and talking about, like, liking his channel and my thing, and then this happening, and feeling like, well, I have a responsibility now to say, yeah, I really liked his channel. I did a bunch of things kind of inspired by that channel, the Red Letter Media, the two people who were running it. But it turns out one of them's a fucking creep, and I was kind of aligning myself with that, which is just like, that was gross. So I felt like I needed to say something, and I did. And that got me a lot of attention, which, if you know why I have this channel, is not the best case scenario for me. I got a lot of people who are like, oh, you're just so great, and subscribed to my channel, who had no fucking interest in my channel. And I did something good in that thing, but it's not like, well, next week who am I going to go after next? It's like, no, it's not. That was a one time, very particular situation where I felt like there was nobody else stepping up, so I stepped up. This is obviously something. This this situation is going to be well. It has been well covered and will be, and it's primarily I know Naomi King has stepped up and spoken for herself very eloquently, um, very damningly for against Daniel Green in a way that my hope would be that this majorly rearranges somebody's life. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so, but yeah, it puts flashes because I see another guy who did make a video about that, make a video about the Daniel Green and Naomi King situation, and now he's getting a lot. He's basically got a whole another. He had like 2,000 subscribers. Now he's got 3,000. It's like, oh, all these people have suddenly arrived on my channel because of what I've said, and I'm worried that it's just it's unearned and it's not how I want to be. I want to be recognized for like doing a great book review. I don't want to do I don't want to be known as the shining knight kind of bullshit. It's like no, I've experienced on a much lesser level. He said this is the overly average Ben or something like that. I can't remember what his name is at the moment. That like I don't want to be the shining white knight guy is basically what he seems to be saying, and I can like it's like I watch that and it's like oh I can totally sympathize. Now I was way smaller than him, very niche in what anyone would want to be interested in my bizarre mix of a channel where I talk way too much and I talk way too much detail and I give massive plot summaries in my so-called reviews. It's like yeah, it's totally different situations. I actually went and watched his top 10 books of 2024 and actually got a lot of good interesting suggestions, and I've watched one of his reviews and I was like, oh, this is a good review. So I had subscribed to him, so that's good. Put some books on my Kobo Overdrive wish list for myself for when I'm looking for books to get out of the library from him. So I've subscribed to him, but I was like, okay, yeah, make a point of if you're going to subscribe to someone because you actually are interested in them, not just the situation that is going along. I have to say I did subscribe to Naomi King because now I feel a lot of sympathy for her and I'm going to be interested in what happens to her next, not because I'm particularly interested in her music or stuff like that. So we'll we'll see how that goes. I feel like a bit of a ghoul there, but who knows? Maybe I'll develop a taste for her music or whatever. Probably not. I'm not a music guy, but yeah. But it's just like it's to me, it's a situation where it's like, oh, it's interesting to be looking at it from the outside because I felt very much consumed in the inside of my admittedly much smaller, much more minor, small potatoes version of it earlier. I don't regret making that video at the time. I still think that was the right thing to do. I haven't taken it down yet from that channel. But it's it's um, you know it's good to look at it from the outside. It's for me, it's good to say, okay, I kind of went through this. Here's a guy who's also going to go through this, who kind of spoke up, and that can have a weird effect. And it's also just interesting of like having that spotlight on you was a healthy thing of because like I'd kind of been chasing that spotlight, even though I was like I don't want you to look at me, but I like to be looked at. I I I don't care about the views, but no one watches my videos. It's all that sort of stuff. It's like, okay, here's a video that everybody watched, everybody commented on, everybody had strong feelings of. It wasn't about me. That is probably the highest performing video I will ever make. It wasn't about me. It had nothing to do, it had nothing to do with me. That was the topic of the moment at that point. Um, and it felt pretty shitty that that was, oh, great. That's, that's the thing. It's depressing. Let's just say that it was such a negative thing that had to be the thing that I was gonna get minorly, not even minorly, a blip known for. Like, oh yeah, there was that. I don't think I'm even remembered now. I'm sure I'm not even a footnote in any of that, which that's good. I don't deserve to be. But there was a moment there where I felt the eye of Sauron upon me, just general public, and just how people get whipped up, whether it's for good or for ill, into stuff like this. And it's honestly, it's a kind of a mixture of both, and you probably, from your whatever your perspective is, which side is the ill side. um you know it's a reflection, and it's kind of frightening. It's kind of frightening to see that. I look at people who are famous and who are in these maelstorms, and it's just like, shit, that must be fucking overwhelming. So maybe in a lot of senses, it was also a good education for myself. That is, educational moment for myself. It's like I only caught a little tiniest whisper of a stray of this sort of stuff, and it kind of like fucking overwhelmed me. I can't imagine what it's like for people who are in the midst of this stuff, and how they deal with it. And I guess if you put out consistently good work and you get caught up in that, you at least have the illusion that you have some control. Like, I made good stuff, and that's why I'm caught up in this. Um, so and I think that is an illusion still. It's like, it's good luck. Some people who do amazing work are never noticed. And then other people who are mediocre suddenly get picked up, but they probably don't think they're mediocre. And then there's people who just trip, who fall, who stumble into it, and it's just like, holy shit. And it's like, I'm a stumbler, I'm a faller, I'm an that kind of, shit, how did I get into this kind of thing? And My sympathy goes out to those people. My sympathy also is very much, obviously, as you can tell from this video, is with Naomi King, and hoping that she isn't put through a whole bunch of shit by a vengeful little asshole like Daniel Green, who is fucking they. I've probably been using the wrong pronouns. It's good that I'm just talking to myself. They go by they them pronouns. It's I hope this. I really salute her for making her video. I worry that the shit she's gonna get rained down upon her is not gonna be worth it. But I think a part of the reason she talked about why she wanted to do this is that she didn't want to find out how many other women he did this to after her, and that she never spoke up. And just like, recognizing exactly how hard it is to get the wherewithal to speak up, and that people who predate on women often look for the women who can't speak up. And yeah, so she pulled it together to do that. It's like, fucking hats off to her. So yeah, obviously I would be disqualified from a court of law in the matter, but it's not a court of law, is it? And everyone's going to have to come to their own conclusions and their own ways of dealing with it. I wasn't subscribed to the guy before. I'm not going to be subscribed to the guy now. Um, um, yeah, yeah. I guess I will, like everyone else, fucking lucky me, I will, I will be able to be on the outside looking in, versus um, someone like Naomi King, who he's in the middle of the fucking storm at the moment, and all support to her, which is maybe what I should think about. I think there is some kind of a fundraiser thingy that will be going to her, and keep an eye on how things are happening, and if support is justified, it should be given. And that's probably for me is just going to be a donation somewhere. So I should think about that. All right, I'm going to leave it there. It's just I wanted to get that off my chest because yeah, it's my own. It's funny. I started off by saying, "Oh, this is an anxiety video," but it is an anxiety video, and it's the social anxiety, social media anxiety, and yeah, part of the reason why I ended up with this private channel is to be able to just talk about this stuff and know this isn't going to be some video that's going to get me pilloried or hailed as a fucking hero, because I'm neither. I'm just a stumbler. A stumbler. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.